does bring colour to people's lives, and more importantly, I believe art brings meaning to people's lives. Art is about making meaning and making sense of this world in a very important way. So Artgym is about helping groups of people, communities of people, make sense of this world, make meaning of this world in a beautiful, colourful way. Artgym is about art, but it's also about exercising art. It's also about the practical art making side of things. People go to the gym to exercise their bodies. Why not go to a space to exercise our creativities? Very much like our body, our creativity is like a muscle. It needs exercising. So many people say, oh, I'm not creative. And the fact is we are all creative. It's how we exercise that part of us. Why art? Why art in the community? Art is a universal language. It transcends cultures, it transcends generations. If you think of early societies and indigenous cultures, those communities used art all the time for healing. That's what they did. They told stories together, they made images together, they danced together, they celebrated together. They used art to come together and be a community, and we don't do that anymore. And I think Artgym is about that. It's about bringing the community together to make song together, to storytell together.
We've got a huge amount of expertise with working with commercial organisations, using the arts in big corporate engagement projects. And we really wanted to transfer our learning and our expertise in that area into the community. We were particularly interested in Kingston because it's an interesting mix of being both an urban community with a very rich past, but it's also along the Thames, because one of our visions is this could be one of a number of projects that actually travels up along the Thames into the City of London. So we've been preparing this whole project for the last 6 months. We've been partnering with a number of different places and organisations across the borough. That includes things like Transition Town Kingston, which is a community action group. They're actually going to take some of the ideas that come out of the workshop and build them over and into their next 12 months initiative.
What is it that you think will be a way to bring in people to come and join in this community, in these community events that are going to be about using sort of arts and creative media to explore past, present and future of Kingston, and ideas for the future, for a better Kingston?
I have no idea what's going to happen. I can't believe if we're going to be standing there with placards. At the start of the project, if you said you're going to be standing in the middle of the street with a placard, I would have said no thank you, but that's what we're doing.
There's enough for everyone, adults, kids.
Yeah.
Just like a little London, but not in London.
I mean, how do I feel?
How do you feel about Kingston? What do you like?
It's a nightmare.
The most important thing for us has been around making sure that it's a really inclusive and really diverse event. So we've been going to different parts of the community, from something like Kingston University and meeting all the students there. And there's about 30,000 students alone in Kingston University, through to doing projects, planning a follow-up project with Kingston Museum. And then going to something like the Cambridge Road estate, which is a big housing estate in Norbiton. And then something as rich and as lovely as the Tamil Elders group.
We don't listen to our elders enough. And I feel we don't listen to our young people enough. And I don't think the two talk to each other enough. we've been planning this wonderful event on the 20th and 21st in the middle of Kingston to invite as many people as possible from all parts of the community. That's very important, to come together to share your stories and to create ideas. Those ideas are going to be showcased across the whole of Kingston. We're going to show your ideas in the Museum of Kingston for the whole of the summer.
There will be lots of refreshments and you can enjoy yourself by meeting many people, and you can share how you are going to improve Kingston.
We live in such a anti-aging culture, don't we? And I think the really exciting thing about the project is we're going to help young people stand in the shoes of old people. We're going to help the old people stand in the shoes of the young people. And hopefully they're all going to realize that actually we're all in this together. The artist helps those people think about how to creatively express their ideas.
You're saying in 20 years' time, well, like I've had so many people ask me what I'm going to do when I graduate, and I ain't got a clue. And the thought of it's like scaring the living daylight out of me.
That's like only a few months away.
And there's a few of us in final year, and we're really scared. I don't want to leave. So that's quite interesting angle for our own opinion to be coming from. Like looking at young people and old people, what they see in 20 years. I don't even know what I see in 2.5 months.
How many young people do you think will come?
We hope it will be literally half and half. So sort of the age group between 19 to 25, and then the age group of 55 plus. And my hope is at the end of it, there is that sense of community across the generations. But also what difference that can make when, I'm just thinking about what you said about how we can sometimes feel intimidated in our own community. And some ways of breaking that down is through how do you create understanding.
I don't think there's a natural bond there, really. However polite probably the young people that you're going to have, they don't need us, and in a funny way, we don't really need them. As far as coming together, life is so short, they've got so much to do.
They find us boring because we don't really relate to their music and possibly, and not to their art, to the cultural side. We find it very difficult to share that. Anyway, at my age, I have to say.
And when we do express ourselves creatively, either individually or collectively, something very important happens. We listen to each other and we understand each other, and the world is a slightly better place because of it.
My heart is like in a high sort of dun dun dun. So this is like all activity. My legs feel leaden and my head metaphorically is writing lists. So it's almost like 3 different parts of my body are doing totally different things and having 3 different activities.
I sort of feel like there's loads of coloured balloons everywhere. That I sort of feel like I want to, rather than releasing more into the air, which I feel like doing quite often, is to catch the ones we've got and make them become something to take forward.
So each of the zones will have 3 lots of people's work on it, and then you'll move on to the next session. So essentially there's 12 groups
in the day.
For the whole weekend.
That outer gallery could be capturing dreams and also asking the question, what are you learning? What have you learned? What have you learned about your environment? What have you learned about your community? What have you learned about your neighbours?
So the priority is to unload this van, and then you'll need to go and park it up somewhere.
Where do I park it?
There is a car park literally down Bishop's Hall, which is the first right there.
The first right?
Yeah.
Brilliant. And the guys, have they got the trolley? Hello, Louise. Have they got the trolley?
What trolley?
What guys?
Shop and shop until you drop. In Kingston, stop. Past and present are on the hook. Future, look. How stories shape and link us to a place. Think.
People are going to make this fantastical landscape of past, present and future, of their feelings and ideas for their environment. So what we're doing is we're creating 3 distinct zones.
But when I was a boy, I used to get on my bike, cycle over to Kingston, to spend my Saturday sixpence buying stamps on the other side of the water splash. Did you know there was a water splash in Kingston?
How do I feel about Kingston?
I love Kingston very much.
Yeah, of course. I like. Kingston always draws me in. I've been to lots of different places, and I always feel there's a river, there's a lot going on quite often in Kingston.
I like Kingston.
I'm very happy to live in Kingston.
I'm very proud of Kingston today. It's a very vibrant place.
I don't share this nostalgia that it was better in the old days. I think it's great now and it will be better in the future.
How will it be different? I hope the river will be used more for transport up and down.
But I think arts in general maybe puts people out of their comfort zone, but in a way it brings them more together, and it encourages them to share their ideas and talk a bit more, and it's a nice way of interacting with people, I think.
Anything that gets people doing art I think is great, because I think art is absolutely important, vital to every community, every town.
Rarely do we ever get to have even just time just to sit down and talk, even though we're not working. It's just an opportunity just to sit down and talk and fellowship and learn about people that you wouldn't normally get to come into contact with is pretty special.
I mean, it is just amazing that so many people come together for something like this, because the image of organisations like this tend to be, this is middle-class, middle-aged white women, the usual suspects, and it sounds as though they've managed to get more people involved, which is great.
وشعور كلش حلو وطبيعي وحبيت كينغستون مثل بيتي وأعيش بها بأمان وبسلام الحمد لله.
I think art is a wonderful way of expression and really can help to change things and get people to think and look. Getting things on paper, it was literally like everything was on. I felt like a kid, like a little kid again, and it was really good working with people from different generations as well, because you get their idea of what they want to see in the future along with our ideas. That was really great.
It was like being back in junior school. I loved it, and I wish we could have done more.
The kind of people you see on the bus, and you're like, well, you don't really talk on the bus. People don't talk to each other these days, like young and old people. But today, it's just been clashed together, and it's just been great.
Everyone's an equal. That's how it felt. Quite nurturing as well, because it's kind of nurturing your ideas, kind of nurturing your energy towards something of a future for Kingston.
So many people, they didn't believe they could do art, and they came here and they discovered that they could do it. I see sort of art as a form of therapy as well, and I found that it helped break down the barriers between people. Everyone mucked in, they all helped each other, and they were advising each other what to do, and these were people who didn't feel that they could do art in any shape or form.
Well, I'm really enthused by seeing so many young people who are full of positive attitudes, and I think it's lovely to see that. It's given me some hope.